curious, why is it that high weather pressure is associated with fair winds and clear skies, but low pressure is associated with dark clouds and precipitation?
Great question. So we're talking high pressure and low pressure. She's saying, why is high pressure associated with clear skies and light winds, and low pressure associated with storms and rain? Well, we're going to put it together this way. You have to look at weather as three-dimensional. That's the key here. That was one of the most difficult things when I went to college, when they started talking about the weather in 3 dimensions. I was so used to just staring at weather maps that I'd see in the newspaper here down at the ground. But everything at the ground is occurring by what's happening aloft here. So let's look at the jet stream. This is the jet stream here, and this is high and low pressure here. Now you have to understand the water cycle too. The water cycle is as air rises, it will cool and then condense, because it encounters lower pressure. So the higher air rises, the pressure goes from high pressure to low pressure. You get less pressure, less temperature. It cools and condenses, makes clouds. So wherever there's rising air, we get precipitation. This is what's happening in the jet stream aloft. Here we'll have a convergence zone aloft here. That's when the jet stream winds are coming together. So as you push the air together, it has nowhere else to go. It can't go up, so it has to go down. And so what happens is we have sinking air, and the air sinks, and it sinks clockwise. So it subsides, as we call it, subsidence. As it's sinking, it warms because it encounters the higher pressure near the ground, and that sinking air also causes a big bubble of high pressure to form here. So sinking air near the high pressure warms and dries, and so you don't have any cloud cover out. We had that pretty much during the day today. As the jet stream's going along, it'll encounter an area where it diverges aloft, and so it separates the air here. And we can't have a void. We can't make a vacuum of no air, so something has to replace the air right here, and so air comes up from the ground. So what happens is high pressure now has been over here, so that wind comes out of high pressure, it goes into low pressure counterclockwise, it gets to the middle with nowhere else to go, and it rises to fill this void right here. And so near low pressure we have rising air, and rising air will then cool and condense and make clouds and precipitation. So you basically have rising air causing clouds and rain, while sinking air is generally dry as it warms up. And if you look at high pressure, low pressure on the ground at the surface here, you also have wind that forms between the two. And as I mentioned to the kids, if I take a room and we fill it up with air, we seal it off, and we pump a bunch of air pressure inside the room, then we open the door, the air will rush from high pressure to low pressure outside the door, and because the earth is spinning, it goes around clockwise like this. And so we added a little bit extra here, but generally stormy, not stormy. That's what you got to take away from that, Don.
We don't get quizzed on this, stormy. Do we?
Oh, yeah. Sitting on your desk.
End of the week, my friend.
Okay, today I'm going to be showing you that nothing sucks. So you may or may not have seen this physics trick before. What you do is you fill a small bowl up with water. In this case, I'm just going to use the bottom of my vacuum chamber. Okay, then I'm going to put some matches stuck in some styrofoam floating in the water. Then I'm going to light the matches on fire, and I'm going to stick a cup over it, and so the water is going to get sucked up into the glass. So I say it's going to get sucked up, but what's really happening is the atmosphere is going to push the water up into the glass. So once the water is pushed up inside of there, to show that it's the atmosphere pushing it up, I'm going to turn on my vacuum chamber, and the water should fall back out of it. Okay, let's light our matches. Sucking up the water. Okay, so you can see how much water is sucked up into there. Again, I keep saying sucked up, but what's really happening is the atmospheric pressure pushed the water up inside of there.
That brings a building down, splits our family in two, puts people on the street. Oh my. slashed and tore